Hey there, guys. Elena here with BankableTV, and I'm excited to share a tool with you that TurboTax has created in order for taxpayers to receive their stimulus payment faster by using direct deposit rather than waiting for paper checks. It is called the Stimulus Registration Microsite, and I'm going to do a quick walkthrough with you today so that if you need to register, you can do that and be prepared for when the Treasury starts to deliver stimulus payments in just a few days. In order to get to the site, you'll want to go to turbotax.intuit.com/stimulus check. And here's what you'll see. Of course, it tells you that this is everything you need in order to get your stimulus check as quickly as possible. Um, and in and of course, most people are looking forward to the opportunity to do that. Let's take a look at the tools that are available here on the site. The first thing you'll see is the economic impact payment calculator. You'll want to make sure that you are answering these questions accurately because the way that you answer them will affect the dates that are listed here and the information that the calculator is asking you for. The first thing it asks is, have you filed your 2019 taxes yet? If you have, click yes. Of course, if not, select no. You'll see when you select no that the adjusted gross income it asks for and the number of dependents that you're claiming changes to 2018. So if you have already filed for this year, then you'll want to select yes, select your filing status, and enter your adjusted gross income, which for 2019 can be found on line 8B of your tax return. For 2018, it's line 7. Okay. Once you're finished with that, you'll go ahead and calculate the estimated amount of your stimulus payment. Let's say it's $50,000 in income with one dependent, and we're filing head of household. You'll see that it will calculate the estimated amount of your stimulus check and show it right there on the screen. Once you've done that, scroll down a little bit further and you'll get into the meat and potatoes of this site. It asks, what do I need to get my stimulus payment? If you have not filed for this year, but you intend to file, you'll want to go ahead and select Start My Taxes. Okay, because you can file through TurboTax, it'll walk you through all the tax preparation necessary. If you don't need to file this year, but you want to let the IRS know your updated information, then you would want to select Register Now, and that's what we're going to do. When you get this pop-up box, it's really important that when it asks you, do you have a TurboTax online account, that you say no. If you say yes, it's going to loop you into your existing account and it won't take you through the stimulus registration process. You'll want to ensure that you select no here. Once you do that, you'll have an opportunity to set up an account in order to complete the registration process. We're going to put in some dummy information here. Select a username that you'll be able to remember. We're just going to use the beginning of our dummy email address here. It's recommended that you enter a phone number, but of course we don't need that here in order to go through the tutorial. But just in case you need to be reached about something related to your registration process, go ahead and put in a phone number there. And you'll also want to select a password. So let's select a let's select a password that we can remember. Once you've done that, you'll select that you want to create your account. TurboTax will handle the rest, and in just a few seconds, you will see that it takes you to a page to start the registration process. Click Continue there. All right. So it's going to take you into a personal information section that is probably pretty familiar if you've ever filed your taxes with TurboTax before. Click continue on this page and it will take you into a personal information page where you can put in your name, your date of birth, a social security number. Of course, we're going to use a dummy number here. Your occupation and other key information. The one thing that I want to call your attention to here, after we put in a couple of additional details, is here at question number 3, where it says a few other things that we need to know. Someone else can claim me as a dependent on their tax return. Make sure that as you're going through your personal information, you keep an eye out for this question because it impacts whether or not you're actually eligible for the stimulus. If you are an adult and you can be claimed on another taxpayer's tax return, you are not eligible for stimulus. So you'll want to make sure that if you are not someone who can be claimed by another person, that you select no here. Super important. Alrighty, you'll just finish up these other details. Of course, you'll want to select your marriage status based on December 31st of last year. So if you were single as of December 31st last year, you'll select that. If you were in any other situation as of December 31st, you'll select the appropriate filing status for you. Click continue here. If you have children that you support, then you'll select yes, I have children, or I support someone else. If you don't, you'll select no. We're going to go with the most basic filing status here, which is single with no dependents. You'll enter your current mailing address. You'll want to triple check this information because in the case that the IRS cannot deliver your stimulus to your bank account for some reason, it's going to be extremely important that they have an up-to-date mailing address on file for you, because if they can't send it to you via direct deposit, it will default to a paper check. So make sure that this address is correct. Alrighty, there's another screen here that tells you to double check just as proof of how important this is. Go ahead and click continue here. If you didn't make money in any other states, go ahead and click through there. And TurboTax will select the best filing status for you. Click continue here and you'll come to a personal information summary. This is the culmination of everything that you've entered so far. So make sure that when you go through here, everything is letter perfect to the way that you need it to be. Go ahead and hit continue here. And this is the key to registering for your stimulus payment to come by via direct deposit rather than having to complete a tax return. Of course, if you don't meet the minimum requirements to file a tax return, this is essentially the abbreviated version of that we've been hearing so much about in the news lately. So you'll want to select I don't meet the minimum requirements for a tax return here. If you select I will file a tax return, then TurboTax is going to default you to the tax preparation version of their site rather than allowing you to register for the stimulus without doing all of that. So make sure that you select I don't meet the minimum requirements and click continue. Alrighty. Next up, you're going to be asked to confirm your stimulus payment registration information. Of course, this is the same information that you've put in earlier as far as your address and name, but TurboTax wants to be sure that you've entered in information that is applicable for you now so that in case for any reason the IRS needs to reach you by mail, they can do so. Go ahead and select register. Alrighty, so we've got our dummy email address here, and it's important that you use a live email address that you can access because you are going to be required to enter a 6-digit security code here. Let's go over and grab our security code now. Okay, and in just a moment here, we will add that back into our TurboTax account. Hit continue, and of course, the key information from your registration process is where you would like to receive your stimulus payment and what method. Of course, you'll want to select direct deposit here rather than a paper check because direct deposit gets those funds to you as quickly as possible starting next week. Alrighty, so when you come to this page, make sure that you select your bank information here. And of course, you want to put in the name of your bank, the type of account, the routing number, and the account number. Of course, there's an option to confirm each of those numbers, and you want to triple check this information because if the Treasury Department attempts to direct deposit you and that information comes back as incorrect, the bank cannot deposit those funds into an account that does not match the name of the taxpayer. So you want to make sure that you have gone over this time and time again before you get ready to submit it. Now, we won't be going any further than here because, of course, we don't have a dummy bank account to put in here and we don't want to clog up the IRS's system when it comes to allowing taxpayers to register. We don't want to put any extra information in there that reviewers have to process. But once you put in that information, you'll be able to select continue here, finalize the details for your registration, and send that off to the IRS. Now, I hope that this video has been helpful in preparing you to register for your stimulus payment since the Treasury will start to disperse those payments by direct deposit next week around April 9th. If you don't need the information, please share this with someone you know, a friend or family member who could benefit from the information because we are all in this together, right? And the sooner taxpayers receive their funds, the sooner that people can take care of themselves and their families and put food on the table. I appreciate you for taking a few moments today to go through the walkthrough of the stimulus registration site with me. It's my pleasure to serve you. Again, I'm Ilena Banks with BankableTV. I'm here to support you with anything you need. And if you have questions about how I can assist you or answer any of your stimulus or tax related questions during this unprecedented time in our country, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Until we speak again, take care of yourself.